Brendan O'Brien and Jordan Freed could not make it this episode, but don't you guys worry. We have a special guest with me, John Manna, who's going to play us a song.
Aloha, hello, what's up, what's up? Shout out to LNH Studios, thank you for having me. I am John Manna, y'all are the Free Flyers, and I got a brand new song for you. It's right here, and I'm gonna play it. It's called California Love.
Just want you back. I don't miss you. I miss what we had. After all, I know that's just a temporary high. I built my castle on your grains of sand. I watched it crumble by the sleight of your hand. After all, I know that's just a temporary. What if after all it's just a temporary life? Hey. Da 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 da. I say I want this here forever, but I can't predict the weather, so I let go of the tethers. Let the universe get clever with me on this here forever, but I can't predict the weather, so I let go of the tethers. Let the universe get clever with me. After all, I know that's just a temporary high. From the treetop, I see you see me now. From the mountains, I whisper to the clouds. After all, I know that's just a temporary high. Now tell me, what if after all that's just a temporary high? Yeah. Freak flyer.
Yo, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Amazing. You guys couldn't see that high five, but we just did it. Wow, John Manna, that was great. Thank you so much for starting this off with great, fabulous vibing music. We're like digging in already. We're gonna dig more into your background. We're gonna dig into the projects you have coming. But before we do all that,
okay,
let's give you your challenge.
Oh snap! Oh,
How nervous are you?
I'm just slightly nervous.
Don't worry, I'm pretty sure this one's quite easy for you. Shout out to Brendan for coming up with this.
Yeah.
You're going to list musical instruments.
Oh, I could do that.
Look at that.
Let's get it.
You can shout out.
Do you have a time period or something?
No, it's the entire length of the podcast.
Alright, so I could just think of something.
Yeah, and interrupt, say it whenever you want, and I will tally them.
And you're gonna, okay.
Yeah, people have gotten different lists that they've had to go down.
Really fun.
We've had quite a range. We have 0. Everyone's a winner, all the way up to everyone's I think someone did just become the new champion. I think they got 100 or maybe a little over 100, and that was strains of weed. So how fitting for this podcast. So whenever you want to say them.
All right, I got you. Ready?
Oh yeah, go.
So guitar.
Okay, that's what you were just playing. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Say that first.
Right. Keyboard.
Good.
Can I do keyboard and piano? Or no?
I will count those as 2 separate ones. Yeah.
All right. Synthesizer. Then we could do like a talk box, like a vocoder.
Ooh.
Right.
I didn't think of that. That's...
Mandolin.
Ooh, nice.
I almost said Mandarin. A mandolin, a sitar.
Love
guitar
that.
and a sitar. All right. I'll come back to it later.
Cool. My first question, right? What is your favorite instrument to play, or what have you played?
Oh, voice. You could put voice in there too.
That is an instrument.
So my favorite instrument is the guitar. I'm really tapping into just understanding that like the instrument is kind of just like a vehicle for like expression. And it's really interesting. I've been studying some Victor Wooten stuff. He's like super incredibly talented bassist. And one of his big like key concepts is just like understanding that like you are the instrument, and like every instrument that you use is just kind of like a vehicle to get your energy out there. Like you are the ultimate instrument, and like I could be an amazing guitar player but have no idea how to play metal. Yeah, right? And like that's just because like I'm the instrument. The guitar isn't. If you see like a heavy metal guitar and you hand it to me, I don't sound like heavy metal right away because I'm the instrument. The guitar is not the instrument. That's very interesting. Yeah, I mean the instrument definitely providing sound and kind of amplifying what is coming through from your brain actually, right? Because that was an original song. So you wrote that. That's the thing I find very impressive, where it's like, how are you able to put out, into chords? You're just making sound, but this is stuff that's manifesting in your head, and then you have to transfer it. Not on paper, like it's not something visual even, but it's like, how does that, because I'm not an auditory person, I'm a visual person, so it's just like when it transfers and how it translates from one thing to the other, it's impressive. It's just like, oh my God, how did you, because what you're imagining in your head is not going to completely pair up with what is in reality. Right. What it actually, right? Like the initial stages versus the outcome. Right. So you are an artist, a musician, an audio engineer, and you also are an event coordinator at Flow State. Correct. That's right. Which we will learn more about. But let's start with your personal journey. So how did you get into music? Writing your own music. I mean, you could take that as broad, as specific as you want. Got you. Yeah, so I'll give you like an overview, I guess. So I grew up in New York City, and I was really influenced by hip hop, right? Obviously. So I was writing raps like when I was like just a young kid, like really young, and then like freestyling with people when I was like 12, 13, 14, 15. Just to like, just because it was fun, and because people would like look at you a little bit different. They'd be like, oh shit. Like, like you could say like 10 things that make no sense, but you say one thing, you say one good thing, and everybody's like, oh shit. Right? Yeah. So it became like a thing like that when I was really young in New York. And then as I grew up, I really started to fall in love with like the production side of things and like taking a classic song from like the 60s and turning it into a hip-hop like banger. Like I came really obsessed with like engineering and working on the Logic and Pro Tools, and I learned some things like that. I studied on my own a lot. I went to school for music, but on my own was where I really got like the most out of it. I did have some great music teachers though. The teacher makes the class. The class.
Yo, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're also setting the tone. Also, like how you know they can get me really excited for something or totally dread it.
Yeah.
Like I do not want to. I don't want to go to organic chemistry.
Oh
What is
God.
that? I majored in biology, so I was completely different. Yeah, but you have also because you know teachers in music. I mean. Any kind of teacher has their own kind of creativity. So you can find like it's really, really cool how they inspire young kids. And also with what you're doing, even being in production, and any other person, any fan who's heard your stuff inspired them to be like, oh wow, I've never heard something like that before. Like, oh wow, I could do something like that. Or, oh wow, I didn't know I was interested in that. You just like sparked something in my brain. Yeah.
No, I'm so happy you said that because that's something that I realized. And like another thing too is like I have taken the step to take this extremely seriously, and this is my life, and that's been for a while now already. And another thing that comes with that is like being an artist in today's day and age, there's no excuse not to document these things. There's no excuse not to have all of your discography of music like available to share with your biggest fans. Like you don't have to give stuff away for free, but like I'm launching this Patreon page where it's like, you know, people who are supporters at any level could get that extra content. And like if you are inspired by like what I do, like I have videos breaking down step by step like how I wrote that song California Love, how it's a study about the E minor 7 chord, and like
oh that's so neat.
Yeah, and like real quick I'll show you. So like I wrote 3 songs in the last month or 2 months, and they all center around a similar chord structure. It's really cool, but they all make you feel different. So just real quick, just tell me how it feels, like feel the feelings. Okay. And remember that these all come around the same chord centers. So
okay. That does give me elements of romance.
That's a romantic song I wrote.
Yeah. Also, like hearing it in your lyrics. That's the thing. You pair up definitely lyrically and also your rhythm and musically and your like melody with the same. Like you're attacking different genres, I guess you could say.
And different emotions.
Emotions, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on what you said before about like you translate what's in your mind to the instrument, and that's true, but like what I'm really getting into now and with these songs is letting the instrument lead me. And it's like I do have this emotion, I have this feeling, but the guitar is like pulling it out of me. It's like I already have it there, but how does so
that's
that
like
sound
love.
So that sound is a really romantic song. It's like it's called Maplestory, and it's like a romantic song. It's like, but if you use the same chords and then we turned it into California Love, it's just like
it's more energetic.
That's the same chord center right there, but the feeling is so different. It's like badass, like you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then the last one, the third song I'm writing is Deja Vu, and it goes like this. It's like whoa, like somber and now we're in a coffee shop just chilling. Right? And like let the guitar tell you. Let the guitar lead you there. But, and keep in mind like that same chord center could sound and feel and pull out different emotions in different ways. And so I go over like all that stuff and like share it with the people who are really interested. And
that's amazing. That's fantastic. That's a really, really cool source for people. So I'm assuming is it correct to assume your process for writing each song is different?
Yeah.
So how does it jump out at you? Is there like a theme? Is there something like where do you catch that inspiration, your creativity? Like, where do you find that next song? How does it come to you?
Yeah, so letting the instrument talk to you really helps. So sometimes you have like right now with the song Deja Vu is like, I have the whole song planned out, except I have no lyrics for the verse yet. And sometimes that's how the song shakes out at first. Sometimes you have all the lyrics and you have no music. Sometimes, you know, you just have to wait for the right feeling, the right moment.
How long has it been to make one song?
Well, it depends. Like, the best songs just happen instantly. Like California Love, I wrote that song in California on the side of a mountain after I had just had like a heartbreak, and I was booked to perform an event in Hawaii, and I got kicked off of the plane like because my mask wasn't like up to the standards that they wanted it, because like my mask was too small and it wasn't like over my nose. Like one flight attendant was very
They didn't have a mask they could give you?
Yeah, they gave me a mask, and then I put it on, and then like at the end of the flight they were like, no, like you have to speak. Like, they had a representative from United Airlines like waiting for me in San Francisco when I landed, because I'm telling you, like, all of the other flight attendants were so nice to me and cool, but this one woman was very like adamant about like just, she was rude as fuck, and I was just trying to be nice. But so long story short, I was booked to perform in Hawaii, and then I got stranded in San Francisco. A good friend of mine like took me in. At the same time, I was going through like a lot of struggles with like, you know, relationship stuff and this and that, and just like I was just let myself be free at that moment. I was sitting on the side of this mountain, like overlooking like this famous ass like statue in San Jose, and it was really beautiful, and I was like feeling all these feels, and I was like, yo, like, this is like California love, meaning like it's like a universal love. It's kind of like the love that I'm giving to myself by traveling and by like, I'm in California. I didn't even plan, I didn't even want to be here, but I'm here and I love it. And that's what that really means. And then like, you know, the second verse is obviously like a badass like breakup song, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Isn't that funny though, that it's the stuff that's unexpected and unpredictable in life, that's some of the things that give you answers or clarity at least, and you're like, yeah, I didn't plan for this, but I'm just going with it. Just let it happen, like, because you don't have any other choice really, and like, why fight it? That's the motion, that's the direction things are going in. I feel like I definitely do that, where I take a little too much control of certain scenarios, and then I'm just like, why isn't this working? Like, why? And you just make yourself frustrated, and you're just like, oh, right, yeah, I should just let it be. Because like, I've been thinking about this a lot, at least, you know, recently. It's like, yeah, we only have one life, and it's always just like, oh, what's my purpose? What am I doing with my time? What's the blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, it just is. Like, this is just life. You are just doing it. Humans are the basic needs to survive, you know, have sex, enjoy, eat, like, just the basics. And I feel like sometimes humans also create a lot of their own turmoil. Don't get me wrong, like, sometimes life sucks. It's not, like, it's not us doing all the negative shit. It's just shit that happens.
Yeah, sometimes the cards shake out in a way that's not favorable.
Yeah.
And like, I think that what really helps me is like understanding that the only thing that I could actually control is my response. And like, that's so much easier said than like done sometimes. But when you find yourself feeling like a type of way, like, that's something that makes me really feel, you know, just like that.
But it's so true.
Remembrance is really important because it's so true. And when you start to remember that and feel like that, like, everything is going to shift. Like, if you remind yourself of these things, it's like saying like mantras in the morning, or like, you know, doing breath work or whatever. If you do it consistently, or currently with me with like vocal practice on the guitar at the same time, and like, I'm doing these things consistently, and then all of a sudden it becomes like second nature. So it's the same thing with your thought. Like, you know, just like reminding yourself that like, oh, but I'll feel really sad, but like, I could just like feel it and then get over it.
And move past it. Exactly. And you don't have to solve. That definitely helps you process. You just mentioned breathing exercises, and before you do a show or before you record, or what's a routine that you get yourself in? What's a healthy thing to either get your voice ready, or to, you're practicing with your guitar. What is your routine?
So a good friend of mine, Brad Hester, he plays in the band Annie in the Water. They're really awesome. They're amazing people. He put me on to some vocal techniques that a vocal coach of his taught him, and it was like a vocal health, vocal repair coach, because he's an incredible singer, and for a little while he was singing without the same technique that he uses now. And this technique that they're teaching me, that I'm teaching myself through the videos that he shared, is amazing. So I mean, I can show you really quick. So basically it's first you massage your face, rub your face. You're gonna so we hold
do it along at home. Do it at home, people. Do it along with us.
Yeah, right. So you guys know what's going on. I got my palms in my hand on the bottom of my jawline, and I'm pushing slowly downward, towards the chin.
Yo, that helps because I clench my jaw when I sleep, so I should be doing this every day.
It's understandable. I mean, we hold so much tension here, we don't even realize until we touch it.
Yes.
And immediately, what? My voice is more calm. I feel a little calmer. So then. Just do this for a while. You want to massage and open up the face. Then we do lip trills. Well, first we do humming. So you want to make a N sound. So just and remember to hum from your diaphragm, not from your throat. There's a lot of really good game that a lot of interesting stuff, little techniques to help you get there. But I'm giving you the quick version. Then after you do that, you do lip trills, and I have a guitar in my hand. You can use a keyboard or something, and you go chromatic, so one half step at a time from a note, and you just try to lip trill, which is kind of motorboating. You know what I mean?
Okay,
with your lips, and then you follow the note. So it's
So when you see a baby do this, they're really
yeah, they're gonna be a good singer one day.
Yeah.
And then you slide up, and then you slide up, and then eventually you're gonna do this again, and you're gonna sing it. So you're gonna go, just with a hum, with a hum, and then you're gonna do that all the way up, and then you're gonna do it again, and you're gonna do all of the vowels. So you're gonna sing the vowels. A, E, I, O, U. Yeah, so it gets intense, and it's a long warm-up, but you feel amazing afterward.
Yeah.
And you get really in tune with your instrument, too. If it's the piano or if it's saxophone, there you go. It's
Ooh, that's one, get it right down.
Right? Yeah. I played saxophone for a half hour.
What happened? Brendan also, shout out to Brendan, he plays the sax.
I'm exaggerating. I played it for 3 months. It's a beautiful instrument, but damn, that's an instrument, man. I decided that I really need to master the guitar before I take on a saxophone.
Yo, I can never do wind instruments. Just forget it. Nothing.
I was able to run scale.
My sister does flute or played flute, and I can't even whistle. I can't whistle. I think I can only make sounds when I suck instead of blow.
Hey, yo, that's funny.
No joke.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
I have a very unique whistle.
What is your whistle? Now you gotta do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. What do you mean by unique whistle? Now I need to know. Wow, that would be a perfect sound effect in an old cowboy western. Yeah, the tumbleweeds going across
that's exactly
the
my whistle.
That's so good. That's my whistle. Wow.
Yes.
So, let's take it to traveling.
Okay.
You're performing. You're going to. What are some of the cool places or some of your favorite places that you've been able to perform at?
Awesome. There's been a bunch, actually. Recently, I just performed at this awesome place in Brooklyn. Oh, man. It was so much fun out in Brooklyn.
Where in Brooklyn?
It was right over the Williamsburg Bridge. It was 5th Avenue.
Ooh.
It was really cool. It was like a warehouse kind of spot, but like
I love
with the upstairs and the downstairs. Like,
yes, I love that. Like Brooklyn Steel or Terminal 5, they convert into warehouses.
Exactly. And it was exactly like Terminal 5, and it was really cool. So I performed like at the upstage area. And,
sweet.
I played guitar, and it was like just the type of vibe where there's just like a ton of people having a great time, and like you're just like, very loud and just rowdy and just fucking dancing until 2 a.m. Like, it was great. Wow. So I had a great time there. So where else? I performed in Massachusetts this summer. That was awesome at the Rip the Flip Music Festival. And they had like 2 different stages, and they had like this awesome. Everything was really awesome. I have like some pictures of it. I'm putting like behind the scenes pictures out. Cool. And so I performed there and did like a 40-minute set and met a ton of really cool people, Massachusetts, and it was really interesting, like campfire conversations and like spinning. That's a nice spinning
spot. Where in
fire.
Massachusetts?
It was in Hadley. It was in Hadley, Massachusetts. That's where it was. Yeah, it was really cool.
Okay.
That was a nice one. The Flow State Music Festival was great.
So tell me about that. How did that get started? How long has it been going? And
for sure.
How strong is that?
So I had the idea to throw like eco-friendly music festivals when I was in college, and I was in college studying music and communications.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to SUNY Oswego, Oswego, New York, upstate New York. And so I was all the way to senior year, and then when like COVID had first came out, they had locked down the music studio and didn't let students use the studio. So I decided to just go to school online. So I went to school online because that was the whole reason that I really wanted to be there, was for the music studio.
For music? Online doing music though?
I know, it was terrible. Yeah, so I did that for 1 semester, and then I just dropped it entirely. Ooh. And I took, it's okay. Like, I do plan to graduate. I plan to go back.
No, I'm just saying that it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
that's
just the timing.
That's exactly. For all those other students, including you, like everybody who... Again, stuff we don't plan in life, and like for all courses to be music, that's hard.
For sure. And to shout out to like all of my classmates that graduated like my year. Like, I love you guys. I miss you guys. I was like, damn, that's supposed to be me. I graduated, but I shall graduate. It's just I decided that I'm spending a lot of energy, time, and putting it all into the computer, into Zoom, and like it's just not where I want to be. So that's when I decided to throw the Flow State Festival. Like, I decided, like, well, I'm going to take all of the stuff I was learning in college, because I was planning to throw, it was with my communications classes that I was planning, like, eco-friendly music festivals. That's exactly what I was planning. I didn't have the name, I didn't have locations, I didn't have bands, I just had the idea. So I took all of that information and, like, translated it into creating it on my own. So we threw 2 festivals. We had about 100 people each time. The first one was like had a little more people than the second one, but the first one was, we were planning it for like months. And then we threw the second festival like a couple weeks after the first festival. They were both like overnight camping with like built a main stage.
And where was this?
The first one was in Stanfordville, New York, upstate New York, right? Oh my goodness, it was a wild experience. We had the venue cancel on us like 7 days before the event.
Wow.
Like this big ticketed camping event where we have like over like, I think we had like 75 tickets sold, and like the venue...
Was this the Fire Festival?
No, I know. I'm like, listen, there is no chance that this event is not happening. So 7 days before the first Flow State, if that didn't go down, like if I didn't like, by the luck that I have and like the great karma that came to me, like I don't know how you want to explain it, but if that didn't happen, it would have been a Fire Festival type of situation. People would have been really pissed. I would have been pissed. So I had found the other venue through Airbnb actually, and paid them like a good amount of money, and I was just like, listen, here's the money, let me throw an event next weekend. It took me like days of just texting and messaging and getting no like after no, and You know, so I found
You're
a place.
persistent though.
Yeah, through the event, the first event was great. We didn't have as much like amenities. We didn't have electricity. We had like, you know, porta potties, but it was fun and like everybody had a great time. Like we took care of everybody. We had clean water, Kangen machines, and like we had
It's old school. You're taking it back like Woodstock times,
yeah.
right? Like,
and
you know,
yes,
it's you just all you need is just like, you know, people, water, and music.
Yeah, that's what
water
we
is
had.
very important.
Yeah, we were also like advocates of like these, like I was talking about breathwork, so we had like breathwork workshops. We had
that's
like
good. Yeah,
you know,
that's
yoga
good.
workshops. The yoga workshop didn't happen, but like we had it on the schedule. You know what I'm saying? And like we
Yeah.
have the intention for these things. So the second time around, we were at a bigger location that was in Pennsylvania. That one was so the first event we threw, like our stage was like phenomenal. It was like a $3,000 stage for the size that we had, and for our first festival, like that was a nice little like chunk that we threw on the stage.
Sweet.
And you know, in the future we were originally looking at like this huge festival with like 10 grand going to the stage and like all these investors, and you know, things changed and things shook out the way that they shook out, and it really turned into like an intentional community gathering rather than a festival. And I fucking loved that. Like I was so like I couldn't even like have planned it if I tried, you know, and like I really learned the importance of the music. Like I knew that the music is important and I know that it reaches people, but I didn't know that it reached people like that. Like people who I don't even know at all. Now I know, but at the time had no idea who they were, became like my best friends, and like they're just like singing along to like every fucking song, and I'm just like,
music brings
whoa,
people together,
like,
yeah.
oh my god, like,
Yeah, but people from different like whether it's economic status, class, culture, race, it doesn't even matter. Like I feel like music is that powerful thing where it binds whatever community. It doesn't like it is literally magic. Like it is literally like people are able to just come out with the most bizarre, unique, super cool things.
Whoa,
and
so
it's
right.
just, and then like random people you've never, you know, met before, and you just feel the vibrations of whatever is happening, and people just enjoy it. It's totally a shared experience. I feel like music fans are like no other fans on the planet. They're a special kind. For sure. They do like agree. Especially for people who do know like every lyric to the song and remember every single beat and know every single like the back of their hand. It's incredible. Yeah,
it's beautiful, and I still don't believe it sometimes. Like I'm so thankful, you know, like. And
I'm really happy that pulled through. I'm really happy that happened.
Yeah,
good for you.
You know, I had and it's just like the way that things are now, I look back on it and I realize that it's all exactly the way it needed to be. But at the time, man, there were some trying times, and there was some, you know, but I never let myself quit. Like there was the moment for like a split second when I was like, wait, maybe this is it. And then I stopped myself. I'm like, there's no chance that this is not happening. Like there's no possible outcome where this event doesn't happen on the date that I planned it. Like,
being a coordinator of an entire production, that comes with its complexities, right?
Yeah,
like you have to know how to deal with things, just problem solving, just pure problem solving.
Every single thing, like any and everything, and
not everybody could do it.
It's a lot.
That's
I realized it quickly. I mean, we were planning it for like 4 or 5 months. So like for straight up 4 months, I was in front of the computer every single day. I wrote every single contract. Like I did every single artist. I did all the talent booking. I like reached out to everybody personally. Like, you know, it's something like I feel really like happy I went through that experience, and like I'm really like happy with the way, like I said, I couldn't have planned it better. Like the way that I was planning it and this and that, like was one thing, and I had never thrown something of that scale before, so I had an idea of what I wanted it to be like. I didn't have the understanding of what it actually was, and like it has its own life. And like I didn't understand that at first, and now it's so obvious, it's so apparent that flow state has a heartbeat. Like it is its own thing, and like I just have to kind of like fan the flames and just allow everybody to express themselves and be free, and that's the whole purpose of the event. And like I had people literally like crying in tears at the end of the event because they didn't want to leave. Like, and it's like I'm like I can't even like start to explain. Like,
oh my god.
You know, we had like sound healing, we had like the breath work, the yoga, like the beautiful open space in the farms, and like not people worried about fucking touching each other or like being like, you know, like public transportation, like when you're like next to somebody and like like none of that. Like,
the subway.
You know, yeah, like none of that, like rubbing shoulders with people that you felt like no feelings of like anything.
No discomfort.
No discomfort.
Everything
just like
was
super safe.
Yeah, that's which is very important because
dry,
like they're definitely.
It was a dry event too, so we didn't serve alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't serve alcohol, and
that makes
if you wanted
difference.
to bring your own alcohol, feel free to bring your own alcohol. But like, I don't know about next year. Next year, you might not be allowed to bring alcohol. But yeah,
it is right. Like music festivals, productions, whatever, very alcohol driven.
Yeah,
like that is the business. That is like a lot of selling tickets.
Right. And I mean, if anything, too, I'm not necessarily against serving alcohol. I would just regulate it. Like, I would have a set amount of alcohol, and once that's gone, that's gone. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be down for that. I'd be down. We did that in the first flow state. We served a very small amount of alcohol because, like, it was some of the performers who were friends. They were just like, "Oh, we got this," and I was like, "All right, we can serve it."
Yeah.
People wanted it.
I enjoy alcohol. I'm not shitting on it. It's good and everything, but I would choose weed over alcohol.
Right. Hell yeah.
Like, come on, let's be real.
But then the second event was totally dry, and the second event being a dry event, like I did feel the difference and notice the difference.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool.
So, what do we have in store for the future for Flow State or for your personal projects?
Yeah, Flow State, Free Flyers. So I'm planning a live EP recording where I'm going to be playing all my acoustic songs like California Love, Maplestory. By that time, maybe Deja Vu will be written and finished. And then a bunch of my other songs like Morning Coffee. And, you know, we're going to do a live EP recording party where we have like, you know, invite only, maybe like 30 people, 40 people maximum. And all of my featured artists, like some people who are on like other songs with me. And we're going to mic up the stage and have everything recorded nice and get it mixed down and mixed and mastered. So I'm going to release that as a live EP in the beginning of 2022. So that's coming. I've also been in album mode. I've been working on my album. So those are different songs. So I have 12 other songs that aren't acoustic guitar songs or like electric guitar songs. They're more like hip hop songs. So I'm looking to drop that album right before Flow State comes. So I'm looking to throw Flow State maybe June. Right, the first one again, and then maybe another one in August. So maybe one June and one maybe like a small one in June, or like a medium sized one in July, and then a large sized one, the big one in August. I might try to do something like that.
You know what I also love about that event is really pulling in local artists. Like it's at least people on the East Coast or people like you. I don't know if you have also people who come from Midwest, West Coast, like
we did.
From
we had
parts.
two people come from North Carolina, actually.
Oh, whoa.
We had somebody fly from Miami to perform at Flow State, from North Carolina again, and then there was one other person from one other place.
But I don't think there's any, I mean, this is, which I love, that's why this is growing, because there's not a lot of these culture hubs, like not a lot of these, look, where you're literally on the pole, you're watching something on the come up and you're just like, oh wow, like that, you know, being a part of something and having this community and like meeting all these people, because I don't know, East Coast is also like fast, like quick, like
You're
this
so
is
right.
job, sleeping, blah, blah, whatever. Like, where is the time where you take a beat and you connect with people? So yeah, I definitely appreciate something like this.
Yeah, that's Flow State. That's like literally what it's all about.
Yeah.
And like what you kind of just explained was what I was talking about, how it has its own heartbeat. Because like I don't like give anybody anything really. I just do my thing and throw the event. Everybody gets their healing process, gets their, you know, meets their best friend or like meets this person or like goes through an experience on their own because of a result of Flow State. It's like I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't like plan it on purpose. I couldn't if I tried. You just have to show up and experience it, and like that's the magic. And when you understand that and just kind of be flexible but with a structure, like you understand that like things can change, like the venue change, and like that's not gonna stop anything. We're just this is going to happen and we're going to continue. And
you just pivot. Yeah.
You just pivot.
Just keep going. Yeah.
You have to have that. That's something that's, as an artist, especially, like, if anybody's listening and you want to be a musician, singer, rapper, painter, whatever, like, you know, that pivoting and being flexible but with structure is extremely important. Like, you have to have the vision, you have to have the goal, and then if you don't know the exact GPS direction turn by turn to get there, that's okay. Like, you just have to start heading in the direction.
Yeah.
You know, that's like consistency and just over and over and over again and doing it. And
definitely.
That's where we're at, yeah.
So your hip hop album, collaborations, what do you have requirements? Do you have like what is how do you know who you're going to collaborate with? How does it they come to you, are you reaching out to them, you see them do something live or whatever, like, you know, what's that?
Right.
What's that about?
Yeah, so the first and foremost thing is that, like, the song has to fit the artist, you know? So, like, if a person would sound great on a song, but the subject matter of the song doesn't really fit what they're going through, you know, their what they would write at that moment probably wouldn't match how I feel or how the emotion or the energy of the song, or they could, like, try to, but, you know, so, like...
So this is someone also for lyrics or someone for lyrics, also for the... Oh, okay.
What were you thinking?
No, I was just asking if you had people collaborate to literally create the music behind the, like, instrumental, or, I mean... If sorry, my other thing was just like, for your hip hop album, you have all of, like, your acoustic work, but for this, is it more what instruments are you using? Like, is it more computerized? Is there more, like, do you have somebody who is more creating beats on their laptop?
I got you, yeah.
Collaborating that way,
so I make a lot of my own instrumentals, like, pretty much, like, I would say, like, 70% of the album is going to be, like, original beats behind, like, all the music, bass, guitar, sample, play the drum pad, all that stuff.
Oh, so you got a drum pad.
Yeah, I usually, like, could play on the keyboard, or I'll sample something into a machine. It's called Machine Studio. Or I'll, with an MK3, I mean, and then I'll, like, slice it up, make it sound weird, turn it into something different than it is.
Yeah.
But I am working with a producer from Oswego, from college, who I went to Oswego with. His name is Jay Bento. So I got some Jay Bento beats coming on the album.
Wow, that Bento beats.
Really awesome. Yeah,
it's like Bento box. But
right? You can get a Bento box. Yeah, you go on his YouTube, you could get the Bento box of beats. Yeah.
That's so cool.
He's awesome. Jay Bento, just the letter J, Bento. Yeah, he's awesome. He makes really amazing beats. So I'm gonna use a couple beats from him, and then every beat or instrumental or song, even the ones from him. So every beat is from a person I know or somebody personally, right? And then all of the beats from him sound amazing as they are, but I've already chopped them, flipped them, turned them into my own kind of maybe arrangement. Like, the parts of the beats sound the same, but the arrangement is different. So I still did some work on those, and, like, it's very important to me to, like, be original, but at the same time you have to allow your, like, originality doesn't mean that you have to start from ground zero and build up. To me, originality could be taking, you know, Mariah Carey's voice and turning it into, like, a different pitch and a different sound and a different speed, and that's still originality. Like, nobody would have affected the sound, and you're not looking at it as another artist's voice. You're looking at it as a piece of inspiration. Like, that's just a sound bite, and what could I turn that into? How could I change that and make it fit the exact specific thing that's going on in my world right now, you know? And I have samples in some of my music, released music, that, like, you would never even know that it's from, like, Kid Cudi's in the background, or, like, Kid Cudi's the only, like, really famous, or, like, there's another one, Bill Withers. I have, like, Bill Withers samples somewhere. I have, like, Zelda sampled. I have Super Mario sampled.
Wow.
But, like, you can't tell that they're from those places because I make it sound so different and so unique, and, like, chop it and flip it and screw it, you know?
When you go into copyright issues?
Yeah, if you take it straight up, like, if you just, like, take someone's voice and put it on your song,
but then you don't have an issue if you do morph it.
But if you morph it like crazy and it's not noticeable, if you have no idea where that came from, then you have no copyright issue. It's a unique different original creation.
Like a little loophole.
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way.
But
that's the thing that's like the distinction that I want to make for a lot of like producers or beat makers is like, don't be afraid to do that. Like sometimes people
their
like,
art's already out there. I guess it can be interpreted and then changed the way it's kind of like once it's released, it part of it's not yours. It's not the public's.
I mean, the way that I look at it is with respect. Like I'm not like. If there's something that I don't like, if you just like rip off a song and like copy and paste it, I don't like that.
Gotcha.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like a little tiny blip in the background of like a Michael Jackson song when he made like a tee, like some funny shit, and then you take it and reverse it and flip it and distort it and turn it into like a chipmunk sound, and then you place it in the background and it tickles your left ear, and like that's it's Michael Jackson. You would never know, you know.
You never know what. I like how you said that when it tickles your left. You don't know what sound is going to tickle what part of your body until you hear it. Right? It's different. It's always fun when you hear a new artist, but then you hear things on their tracks, and then you discover that like when they got it from a really really old piece of music, like they're getting things from like the blues in you know the 40s 50s 60s, and you're just like, oh shit, and you're like, oh, this came from that, and like people also going back to, you know, through history, because it's like some people have the mindset of like, oh, everything's already been done already, but it's just like, but you can alter things in so many different ways. And, like, it's not... I mean, music has evolved so much. Also, hip-hop is not even that old. Right? Isn't that crazy? Yeah. It's so many things are still being established in that category.
Well, hip-hop as we know it now. But a reason why I fell in love with hip-hop, and something that is quite, like, common knowledge, but a lot of people might not think about. But once I say this, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Like rhythm, so hip hop, rap, rhythm and poetry, RAP, right? Rhythm and poetry. That is what our ancestors have always used, always and forever and ever, to share information.
Words.
So like it's just like that. Hey, take a left at the mountain, don't hit the cactus, make sure you run, you know what I mean? Like directions to the watering hole, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what hip hop actually is like based on, and like that is what thing that made me really fall in love with
navigation.
It so
It's going
No, but think about like 300 years ago, your life expectancy is shorter, you have kids, and you have to pass on the information, and you know, even go further, like thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, before the written word, like rhythm and poetry was a way to like communicate, and like that's something. It
is a language, for sure.
Something ancestral. There's something like, I don't know, spiritual about it.
So, I mean, along those lines, it is storytelling, right? Which is like when you're writing your music, you're telling a story. You're telling your like emotional journey through things, and you're like, oh yeah, this is what happened and everything. Is there anything you've written or would write that's a little bit like out of your realm? That's not necessarily like you write what you know, but it's like one song you're writing about like a space alien, something like that. Have you ever done anything surreal, anything like completely like, well, it has like, you know, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit like, because sometimes you have, you know, bands or artists, or like David Bowie, right? Is going to be like his, you know, elements are definitely different than like John Mayer, like right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But can you like imagine yourself, you know, dipping your toes into different waters?
For sure. So I really like how you put that, because I have a good picture of what you're talking about, where, you know, different artists like David Bowie, you know, obviously both David Bowie and John Mayer could take you on a journey throughout the course of a song, but David Bowie might be a little more like, well, I would say John Mayer would be like, he talks about real subjects through like metaphors, and like kind of like, I really like how he like can stretch out one metaphor and look at it 10 different ways and explain a topic like that to you. But David Bowie would actually create this whole fucking like space journey,
like a world, right?
Yeah, he creates this whole world that you like step into, and it's like, Yeah, so that's like a mark of a really great songwriter. I would like to think so. Well, I mean, both of them do that.
Yeah, it's just they're two different unique styles. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
and I would say I'm a more familiar fan of John Mayer. Like I know more of his stuff. But yeah, I love them both. But
how would you describe your style?
My style?
Yeah.
It's a free flyer style. It's
but what do you when you say free flyers? What do you mean by that?
Yeah,
so you need more description.
Yeah, so the free flyers in general is just the concept that you're free to fly. Like you are free to do what you want. If John Manna and the Free Flyers at a Free Flyers concert, it's like just the vibe and the essence and the energy and the aura is just like, this is my life. Like I am free to do what I want with my life. And I try to really like channel that through my songs and like, you know, honest expression. And like that's right now the hardest thing for me is like just being honest with these like songs that are like, you know, a little bit difficult to write about like real emotional things and like not being afraid of like, you know, just speaking the truth and the honesty and like
do you ever
vulnerability, you know?
Do you ever struggle with like the decision for how much you want to reveal in your music from your personal life and like that's how much you want to keep private?
That's kind of what I'm feeling at this moment currently, like writing the song
right
Deja
now
Vu.
On this podcast.
Right now on this podcast because before this podcast I was at home writing that song and I'm still writing that song in my brain right now, like
it's still
so Deja Vu,
marinating in there.
Yeah, so it's the concept of Deja Vu. Obviously we know what Deja Vu is, and the song is the concept of entering into a new relationship with a new person, and it's awesome and it's amazing and it's really awesome and fun, but you're still kind of like stuck up on your past relationship or like stuck up on something, and the feeling of deja vu, like when I'm with you I still get deja vu of something that I did with her, you know what I mean? And
yes,
like, now you can understand why that's like a very emotional thing.
Yeah.
And like the other thing too is like how I said, like you don't have to live in those emotions, and like it's hard sometimes as a songwriter to like write songs and then go back to it and jump back into that emotion when you don't want to. Sometimes you don't want to sit there and sulk and be like that, but the guitar will pull it out of you, like the sound will pull it out of you.
Well,
and,
let's say
true.
let's say you completed writing Deja Vu, and the meaning it has for you when you play it, like, you know, today is going to be completely different than when you play it like 20 years from now.
Oh my
right?
God,
It's
so
going
right.
to it's going to now reference a completely different situation. It now kind of has a different meaning, basically, because you're not the same person you were. You may not be in the same relationship, or you may not be in, you know, you're not in the same state of mind. So my point is just touching on that is it's both like can be like a bit somber and sad and like bittersweet when you do have such emotions and real specific like memories in your mind that were attached to this song, but it's also quite beautiful that it can transition into something entirely new and different. And I was like thinking about it because I was like, oh, Taylor Swift coming out, like having to at a completely different age. She's older now, she's gone through many different things in her life, and she had to re-record right her song. She was struggling, the whole people know the story with the studio because they didn't like release it for her, she didn't have the rights, whatever. She re-recorded a lot of her old music, and it's just like, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, wow, for her to go through that process, it's probably some things are eerily like similar, or it's a completely different experience because you don't have the same knowledge. Also, hopefully, so I guess people when they get older are still immature, but I would like to think you have a different level of maturity, right? Sure. Also, when you're looking back at your previous relationships, you have, hopefully you're less you know, some people get less bitter, like less, you know, holding on to things, less, because people can get angry. Like people don't get over it because I don't think they want to necessarily, right? They still want to, that's the only way it still lives inside their heart, is if they still have these strong emotions attached to it. Instead of being like you were saying, like you can control your reaction, your response to things. Instead of just like people having it like, you know, forgive and forget, just let it wash away.
For sure, yeah, for
right?
sure.
So how did we even start with this? Oh my gosh, this is me going off on so many tangents as usual.
You're so on point.
So anyway,
great Taylor Swift analogy, amazing, phenomenal. I really liked it.
Oh well, oh gosh, jeez. No, please stop. Keep coming with the
It was good.
So your Deja Vu song. Let's just can we dive into, I'm not going to get into your personal life, but you were just mentioning relationships, and right, like so much of music is about love. So much is about you know, just about relationships, or about somebody you met, or a lover, or this, or whatever. It's always about some sort of connection with somebody.
Right.
And it has to do, like, how many freaking breakup songs are out there? And I don't say that, I don't mean that in a mean way.
Now.
No, there's one more. You just added one to the library. Because there are so many, right? But I am curious, why do you think there are so many breakup songs?
Well, you know, it's kind of a hard thing to process sometimes, right? It could be a very hard thing to process. And to me, music, like always, you'll hear me say this over and over again, is music is a genetic DNA instruction. What I mean by that is, you know, the understanding of how powerful our words are, mantras, and repetition. And so when you write yourself lyrics, you're writing genetic material instruction. You're when you speak those words, when you sing those lyrics, how great does it feel to say, I hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. How fucking good does it feel to sing that at the top of your lungs, right? Because you're telling your body, like, I'm over it. You're telling your body, and then your body reacts. Right? And so that's something that I'm really aware of when I write songs. So like, I'm very cautious about like what I'm gonna be repeating for the next 50 years and singing for the next, you know, for the however long the song lives. And,
also, it always will be relatable.
And it'd be honest but at the same time, like, you know, you have to like tell yourself how you're gonna live your life. You can't just like be a passenger to your life. And I think that using lyrics is a really strong way that I do that. And so that's kind of how I would handle that, you know. So
just taking it back, way back. No, you're not that old. Where did you grow up?
In New York City, Lower East Side.
Okay. Was there anybody in your family who had a connection to music?
No, actually, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started playing piano when I was like 7 or 8, and I quit after like a year because I wanted to play karate because all my friends were doing
piano.
Yeah.
I'm leaving the keys for punches.
Right. Typical.
Wait, how long did you spend at karate?
Only like another year.
And then went to guitar?
And then went to boxing.
But okay.
And then went to hockey. I played ice hockey for a very long time. Yeah, I got very competitive ice hockey.
You a fan? You have a hockey team?
Yeah, I'm a New York Rangers fan. I like the New York Rangers.
Classic. I'm Devils. Whatever.
Okay.
You know,
I've been to some Devils games. I love it. It's okay.
Yeah, we're No, for like hockey games, like it's just the most thrilling game for me to watch live.
Yeah, it's amazing. Right? Hockey's phenomenal. I love it. I really did that thing. And then it wasn't until I went to school for my first year, freshman year, for hockey, I was playing hockey and I was not like doing school. I was like doing terrible in school. And I dropped out of that college to come home and go to community college and like my whole life pivoted. I
I
started
went
really
to community
focusing on
college.
music. Where'd you go?
Brigham Community College.
Oh, okay, I went to Brookdale.
Okay.
for
Yo,
2
I am
years.
definitely an advocate for community college.
Yeah,
People are
it was
ever
pretty great. It was not
lost
bad
or
at all.
uncertain, or they need it's so helpful.
It was not bad at all, and I studied music there too. So like I have some
That's
music, 2 years of music from there. Actually, like there was like a rock band class where we would just like
What?
it was amazing. Yeah, it was like I think it was called
Was
Rock
Jack
Band or
Black
something.
your teacher?
No, but he
cool.
basically was Jack Black. Our teacher was basically Jack Black. It was amazing.
That guy
They would-
definitely
Yeah.
seen that movie so many times.
Oh my
Your
god.
teacher. That is super cool. That
like
you had
our
as
whole
a
curriculum,
class.
our whole curriculum was to show up weekly, once a week, and practice, and then we had to play a concert at the end of the year, like live, like playing
Wow.
guitar and singing live.
Wow.
And each person had like 4 songs, so like I
Were
played guitar.
there like specific musicians you learned about in that class? or were
No, we
taught?
just like we just got together and played our instruments, and he said like,
Did you cover
let's
any
try this.
songs?
Yeah, he said let's try this song, and then the song went really well, and like all right, let's add it to the set list. Let's try this
What
song.
songs?
What did we do? Oh, it was a long time ago, feels like. But we did we did a lot of songs. Damn. I did what's that song?
And it was specifically like rock music?
Yeah, there was some rock music, like there was some AC/DC.
Okay.
There was some I forget like the titles of songs, but there was some really good music. Oh, Alicia Keys. I played like Alicia
Oh.
Keys, If I Ain't Got You. I played that on the bass. I played guitar
Ooh.
for
I like
Shallow?
it. It's different.
There's a song Shallow. What's
Like
the name of that song? I didn't even know the song until I heard it, but it was in a famous movie.
like the A Star Is Born? Like
Yes, that
Oh,
song.
okay.
I played that song.
Wow.
You know, I probably
Before Gaga was in
yeah, that was a guy. Yo, people probably love that song and are very offended that I didn't know the name. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, I think it is called You Got It. It's fine. We
Into
all
the
knew
Shallow.
what you
Yeah,
meant.
you
We
know.
all knew what you
But yeah,
meant.
it was a while ago, but we did all those things, and it was a great experience. But that was, and then I went to university after that, and like,
Got you. Okay.
yeah. Then now I'm here doing my thing.
Yeah, it's one thing leads to the other, right? Like you ever
Really
like
does.
finding those classes. Did you ever need like a little push, like a budget to be like, oh, go after this thing, or you immediately like you were a decisive kid
Depending
and you immediately knew.
What do you mean?
Like just what track you were on, like you immediately knew like oh yeah, I'm gonna do more of this music thing, or like oh yeah, this rock class, or like oh when you decided, let's say when you like stopped piano and you went to karate, then you went to
Yeah.
boxing, was that like you just being like yeah, like I'm done with this, next, like doing this one next, or like you needed encouragement from your parents or friends or anything?
Yeah, no, I didn't really need much encouragement to do the things I wanted to do, but if you tried to get me to do something I didn't want to do, oh, good luck with that. What
did you not like in school? What was
I was a very bad student. I would just not.
like math? No.
Yeah, math, no way. No chance you're getting me to
I know, it is.
No
you
chance.
really have to love math.
I'm great at geometry.
If you're going, that's good.
I'm really good at geometry and algebra, but there's some math that I just like.
Geometry can be a bitch sometimes. That's good.
Yeah, I think geometry is like more real life.
My sister has a degree in math.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like
not
she's
me.
a math teacher. Right? Like not me
Yeah.
either. I mean I did bio, but that's like she had to go all that way to have a degree in math. She really
Yeah.
likes it. Good for her. But it's like to the point where her courses were less numbers and more letters. Like they're theorizing about math.
Oh my
like what
God.
is that?
That's wild.
So I get it. I feel you.
No, that's
yeah.
beautiful, but it's just not the type of
It's for her.
study
You
for
do
it, yeah.
you know? Just everybody
Yeah,
does.
for sure. But just to like give you an example, like I even in classes I love, like art class, like if the I remember like I make jewelry now too, but like back when I was a kid, like in art class we did like metalworking. We were making jewelry, and like that was really cool. And the teacher was like doing something on the board, and I'm here like taking the techniques that she's teaching us and taking like that information, but making a different shape and making a different thing. And like failing, technically getting an F because I'm not making the same thing that they're making. But I'm just like, I don't want to.
Silly. Right, because you're supposed to just follow the rules. You're supposed to just follow directions. Right. But what is the harm if somebody colors outside of the line?
Yeah, so I was really good at like understanding that, there are important things about school, like technique and like the understanding of things, but ultimately it's like how you turn that into something that you create. Like you don't want to just copy everything.
You're not conforming.
Yeah, that was kind of like my attitude for a very long time when I was in school. I mean, that's pretty much still my attitude now.
I get that. Yeah. So, music videos.
Yeah.
Have you, like, what is that? What's going on?
Yeah, we have a couple. So I have a few music videos released. You can check out my YouTube channel. It's John Manna and the Free Flyers. That's my YouTube. And then I have a new song that I'm planning to shoot a music video for. It's called Hit Different. So that video is going to come soon. I have one music video that's just sitting in the vault that's not released yet. So I'm going to drop that. Probably around like the album drop, flow state time, like beginning of summer, I'll probably drop that music video.
Okay.
I'm waiting just to add, I think that I can add like animation. I think I'm going to hire like a professional animator because the video looks phenomenal, but I am also really inspired by, are you a fan of Kid Cudi? Not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't really listen.
But you don't know his music videos, or if I told you about music video.
I don't know if I've ever...
So... After this,
actively on my own, right?
Yeah. So if you're listening to the podcast and you want to like see this video, it's amazing. Type in the Day and Night Kid Cudi music video, and there's like animations over the screen. And
I love when they do animations.
Yo, the animations are so on point. So like the video is great, but the animations take it to another level. So I haven't released this video yet because I think I'm gonna add the Day and Night style kind of like Kid Cudi animation over it. Very inspired by that. So yeah, that's scheduled to come out soon. But yeah, ultimately right now I'm just working on the live EP, launching Patreon, creating all of this behind the scenes content, and like learning how to really make myself into that, content creator, because it's not about creating content. What it's about is like just documenting my progress, and like now that I've looked at it that way and I understand it in that kind of way, it's fun and it's enjoyable. Like I'm not trying to be a YouTuber or a content creator. I just want to make myself better, and I have the means. Like I said, like if you're an artist nowadays, you should document yourself and you should be able to like see your Oh my
Absolutely.
God, I found a USB stick with songs from 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 days ago, just a couple days ago. Yeah, and they were not terribly terrible.
That's a cool, neat rediscovery.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was when I was in Arizona for a little bit, and I was recording at a friend's music studio, and that was in 2015, and
USB sticks.
Yeah, it was cool.
I remember when we still used floppy disks.
What's that?
Right,
oh my God.
You know what that is.
Ew.
Now they're used as coasters.
Yeah. Looks like a coaster. Takes forever to load. You can fit like you can fit one song on it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Just gonna check back in here if you have any musical instruments you'd like to add.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it looks like we're getting down to it. Cajon, djembe, maraca, triangle,
classic,
kazoo, a rain stick, a didgeridoo.
I just love that the name of that.
Didgeridoo. Yeah, right. It's great. Hi-hat, a kick, a snare, a shaker, a sound bowl, healing bowl. Wind chimes. That's a cool instrument. I use that in a song. I use my dog's collar in a song.
Oh, that's...
Dog collar. That's definitely an instrument.
That's creative.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
Do you want to know how many you have so far?
20.
I was counting. Ooh, close, but no.
18.
No, higher.
Higher? How
above 20. 22.
Okay, I'm with that. I have 22 so far. Did I say bass guitar?
You did not.
Ooh.
You did just say guitar, so we could get down to
Bass
specifics.
guitar, bass, ukulele, ukulele. Yeah.
So it's 24.
Damn, there are just so many more that I just like. I just know that like, it's on the tip of my tongue technically. Did I say voice? Voice is an instrument.
You did say
All
voice,
right.
yeah.
Cool. I wanted to make sure we counted that one. That's a good
It's
one.
counted. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be about all I could come up with at the quickest.
That's a solid number. Also, just please share we are also going to drop it in the description when we post this week and when we share the podcast for all to hear. Share your Instagram, any other plugs you want to add, anything else coming that you want people to be aware of.
For sure. So it's John Mana Music. My last name is spelled M-A-N-A. John Mana.
John with the H.
J-O-H-N.
Not that J-O-N.
Nah, none of that. Don't call me Jonathan either.
Is that only your mom calls you that or something?
No, that's not my name. My name is John. Yeah, it's not
Wait,
John.
there's really no. It's just John.
Yeah,
there's no. I never do assume, because it's true. Not everybody is a Jonathan, and it's short.
No.
It's just John. I like that.
There's no
Simple.
Jonathan.
There you go.
Yep. So it's John Mana Music on Instagram. Connect with me on YouTube. I have really cool videos. That's John Mana and the Free Flyers. Through Instagram, through YouTube, you can find my Patreon page, and I'm sure it'll be linked in here too. If you're listening like before the middle of December, it might not be launched yet, but I'm launching it in like a week or two. So I have the date set for December 10th, but we might have to push it back. It's a lot, dude. Patreon is a lot, but I'm excited and I'm ready for it, and I have a lot of really great content. Also, if you sign up with like the highest tier, you get like a free guitar lesson every month. Or if you don't want to do guitar, you could do a vocal lesson, you could do a songwriting lesson, we could do a poetry, like we could do 30 minutes of poetry. So everybody who's like the highest tier of my Patreon gets like a 30-minute video chat per month where we could do like something like that.
Nice.
Along with a bunch of other really cool things. Behind the scenes, updates of demos like Deja Vu, like you'll be able to hear the demo I'm actually working on before it's ready, like without the final lyrics, like the sketch lyrics, some cool stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm really appreciative of like all the support, and we're just building, and after this week or these 2 or 3 weeks, I'm getting into that flow, and I'm gonna create that cycle of Patreon and keep that going, and then I'm gonna shift my focus to planning the next flow state, because we're getting into the beginning of the new year, and sometimes I need at least like 4 or 3 months to plan it. So we're planning the next flow state that's looking to happen in June. So the first one should be June of 2022. So
exciting.
Yeah, it's
very exciting.
So, and we're gonna keep it summer based, and we're gonna keep it outdoorsy, camping, great experience, safe space, just
cool. And people can find the details of that when you officially like release it closer to June. Where do you
on Instagram. On Instagram it's flowstate.events, and you can find it from my page. You can just type it in, it'll probably pop up right away. Flowstate.events, and that's where you could just like follow, and we'll have a lot of updates like being posted. I also have all of the video and photo from like the first 2 events that I have not posted yet on purpose, so I'm gonna like roll it out slowly and start to post all those. So that's really fun. You'll get to see like
a little
recap.
Tease people. Keep people waiting.
Yeah, you get to see all that stuff. So in the due time, because we want to make sure that like I said, it's a summer thing, and it's something that takes so much energy and so much effort that like I have to respect that, and just like now is just kind of like my time to work on me and work on my artistry, and then summer comes around, go cycle into that, and they go hand in hand, but they both take like focused attention, so that's kind of the stage that we're at right now. We're writing these songs and getting ready for the album, the listening party, the live EP. So listening party is invite only, but if you want to come, shoot me a DM. It's a private event, but it'll be a lot of fun.
this all sounds wonderful. A lot of great stuff you have given us this evening. You are closing it out with 24 on your list. Everybody, just make sure you stay tuned for more. There's so much to come. John just told you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes,
such a pleasure. Thank you so much for playing.
Yeah,
and thank you everyone for listening. This has been Sessions with Mary Jane. I'm Reena Ezra. Have a great day or night or morning wherever you are.